I've lost a lot of people, family, friends. My best friend, he got killed at a gas station that he was pulling into. The bullets weren't even for him. You know what I'm saying? He get hit right here in the back and it come up here and hit an artery. I had to watch that man take his last breath and shit. I had to watch his stomach fill up with fucking blood. And I'm asking the doctors, like, what is that? Why is his stomach so big? They said it's blood because we can't, as quick as we're trying to get it in, it's not coming out quick enough. You know what I mean? So it's like his body, his stomach is just bulging. There's just fucking blood. He looked pregnant. That's how much blood he had in his stomach. They couldn't stop the bleeding. You know what I mean? They're trying to give him blood and then stop the bleeding, but he's bleeding internally. Like, it is just bad, man. Like, and you want to say, I had to learn, to be confident, because I'll say at a young age, like, my skin complexion was a problem for people. You know what I mean? Like, to be as dark as I was. I always got made fun of and shit. And I had to learn to have thick skin. You know what I mean? Because at first it was like, oh, Mama, they calling me Whoopi Goldberg. Mama, they said I'm black as this, black as that. Like, as a kid, your feelings get hurt.
About how old were you when that was happening?
Oh, man, I was probably about, I think the bullying with the name calling, and it didn't even happen in school. It happened, like, in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? They was about, like, 9, 10 years old and shit, I was always, up and down the streets and shit, but it was always these girls. I think one of them, her name was,
don't say her name.
I'm trying to remember, but I can't.
No, you want to say the name so fast.
Look. I don't even know if she's still around, you know what I mean? But, like, oh, man, she bullied the shit out of me. Like, I had never had nobody, talk to me like that as a kid. And it messed with me, you know what I mean? Like, when you, hear people call you ugly or whatever and stuff, you get to thinking that, you know what I mean? Feeling that and stuff. But I think all people, have ugly moments and stuff like that, especially when you're sleeping. But I'm just saying, man, like,
we do though.
You don't know what you look like when you sleep until somebody videotaping you and taking a picture. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. I ain't never even thought about that.
Really?
Yeah.
You know how many people think they don't snore? A lot.
I was fighting the shit out of my wife. Like, I don't snore, stop. Because when I was younger, like in my teenage years, up to probably my 20s and stuff, everybody was like, you sleep so quietly. So I held on to that. And when she told me I was snoring, I'm like, nah, you tripping. I caught myself. I was like, you catch yourself every now and then.
Oh, shit, that's me? Like,
yeah. But go back to what you were saying.
Nah, but like, my mother wasn't like really like financially, well off when I was younger and stuff, to where I had the nice clothes or I had the nice shoes. Majority of my stuff was hand-me-downs, and that messes with your confidence too, your self-esteem and everything. So, that, then you got the bully, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't look at yourself like that, you know what I mean? Like in a good way, so, like, you think you ugly now, you know what I mean? Like, your clothes ain't all that and shit. Like, it was one point in time, shit, I walked around with holes in my fucking shoes. It is what it was, you know what I mean? But still went to school and shit. Like, my mom's, like, she had suffered from, drug addiction and everything, you feel me? So that was, like, real hard for me, growing up, being the oldest, because, as the oldest child, you go through everything with your parent, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's your mother, whether it's both parents, you know what I'm saying? Or whether it's just you and your father or whatever. So it's like, you see it all, you know what I mean? And it was like, that addiction just, I felt like it stole from us, you know what I mean? Like, it stole the good times that we could have had, the great meals we could have ate and everything. You know, the furniture we needed, the everything. You know, but most of all, I think it stole my mother away from us for so long and stuff.
Take your time, loved one.
Man. I don't even open up about, you know, things like that for real.
You want some tissue?
I'm good, G.
You ain't got to be hard, cuz.
I ain't hard,
I know
guy.
you always try to be hard, man. You ain't got to
Hey.
be hard. This is a safe place, for real.
No, I'm good. You know, like, I'm good. Thank God, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mother's not doing it now. You know what I'm saying? But, like, for years, she did it. You know what I mean? And I think that was, like, the toughest part about being a child because I had to grow up fast. Because now I got younger siblings. And they're dealing with the same things that I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But I've dealt with it longer, so it's like I hurt more than they did. You know, I watched my mother go through domestic violence. You know, my brother's dad used to beat her up a lot. You know what I'm saying? They get high, and I don't know, it was just like the drug made them feel this way, like she could just be off minding her own business, and then boom, he's feeling some type of way about something, you know what I mean? So it's like, I had to watch that, you know what I'm saying? I watched my mama, you know, face all bloody and everything, a lot of things and shit.
To before we get too far, to go back to the drug, what type of drugs was it?
Oh, she was doing crack, you know what I mean? And, like, yeah. And it's crazy when, you know, you got a parent doing something like that, and then you got relatives who actually sell the shit, and then you see them selling it to your moms and shit. Like, it messes with you. You know what I mean? Like, damn. Like, you killing my mama just as much as she killing herself. You know? And I think that's why I always like watching Lean on Me and shit. You know what I mean? Joe Clark. He had that nigga up on the roof. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, do it. Do the scene. You know you want to do. I know you got to do the scene. Do it.
You smoke crack, don't you? Don't you smoke crack? You know what it does to you? It kills your brain cells. You know how many times I want to tell my mama that it kills your brain cells. Like, but I couldn't. You know what I mean?
When we first heard it, because movies can be triggering.
They can.
They can be like, damn, I want to tell my mama that, or like, this fucking hurts my feelings right now. Like, so when you first heard him saying that, what kind of emotion did it trigger? Like, seeing the scene.
Honestly, that's not the movie that triggered me and everything.
Awesome.
The movie that triggered me, remember Sugar Hill? Okay. I think I first seen Sugar Hill when I was about 13 and everything. Stayed on the corner of 46th and Chelsea. And like I said, I'm a movie fanatic, so, you know, like, I watch some movies. But that scene where, you know, it's black and white, the mama's ready to shoot up. She got one son helping. She told the other son to go sit down. You know what I mean? And, like, to have the child help her, you know, my mother never had me do nothing like that and everything, but, like, to have the child help her, and then, you know, he goes off and sits down with his brother, but then she, like, you know, she just started having this overdose moment. And then now she's just dead in front of them. I always thought something like that was going to happen to my mother. You know what I mean? Like, and, like, to this day, if I see that scene and everything, it'll take me back to when I was 13 and I seen it for the first time. and my mother's in the other room getting high. You know what I mean? So it's like, I never want to be that person, or I never wanted to be that person or child to find my mother, you know, in that position because of a drug. You know what I mean? I think that's why, like, I don't do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, as far as drug wise, I try weed. You know what I mean? Who hasn't really? I never wanted to do nothing hard. Like, I could never snort coke. I always tell people, like, that's crack. You know what I mean? Like, coke to me is crack.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a soft form of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like water and ice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just two different forms and shit. So that movie, it triggered me a lot of times and everything. And I don't know, like, what really got me away from it and everything and stuff. Like, because when I say, like, you know, I've been through some things and stuff. Try not to cuss, but I cuss like a sailor.
You can cuss. What's the age you got between you and your brothers and sisters? You got brothers and sisters?
I got stepsisters, but you know, whatever.
That were in the house then. What's
brothers. My brother that's up under me, we're like 6 years apart.
Okay.
And then the other brother were like 7 or 8 years apart.
Okay, that's so. When we talk about these movies, we often see these scenes where the oldest has to. They've seen it all, like you said, and you damn near become the protector to keep your children. They damn near like your kids for real.
Yeah.
Your little brothers and sisters from seeing it. What was those moments like? Like, would you see her going into her zones or whatever? How do you handle your little brothers?
Like, there was times I didn't eat, but I made sure they ate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was really just, if I knew she was doing it, I'll try to, like, you know, interact with them or whatever and stuff. But I started to get an attitude. You know what I mean? Because my brother that's up under me, his daddy is the one that was around. You know, my dad was in and out of jail. And so his dad was, like, always there or whatever. And I felt like, you know, if he wasn't there, she wouldn't have been doing what she was doing, because we had real good moments and shit where when he wasn't around, she was on her shit. She wasn't using. She was working. Bills paid. You know what I mean? How many times I went to school, waking up, it's no lights, it's no gas. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes no water and shit. Like, it was tough, man. Like, it really was. But I had to do what I could, you know what I'm saying, for them to, like I said, to make sure they ate, make sure they got to school, you know, like, make sure that their mind was occupied and they really didn't see the things that I seen or whatever. And because, like I said, they only got a little bit of it, you know.
They got the butt end.
Yeah, they got the butt end of it and everything. They didn't get the beginning and the middle part. They got that, you know, the last of it. So, of course, you know, as we got older or whatever, you know, yeah, they, you know, knew more about it and everything and shit like that. Because, like, honestly, my mother probably has been clean maybe 3.5 years now. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully. Yeah. I'm 38, bro.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long time. You know what I mean? But and it's something with that too. Like, you always have in the back of your mind, like, is she ever gonna relapse? You know what I mean? And then it makes you feel like she will, because you've seen it so many times. I've seen her when she's, you know, not doing nothing and everything. I've seen her when she goes right back to it and everything. So, Yeah, it was tough.
Your brother's dark skinned too?
Yeah, the one up under me, yeah, he thinks he's some chocolate gigolo or some shit. No, I'm just saying.
I'm just
saying.
So once you start to go outside for real, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said this. When you start experiencing the bully? The bully at about 10?
About 10. About 9, 10,
you start to go outside. Your brother is 4 at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's dark skinned also.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking all these hits and shit.
I take all the hits.
How do you prepare him? By the time is he going outside, are you like, you got to be protective of him, or you like kind of schooling him through like, hey bro, like.
I was very protective of my brothers. Honestly, shit, at that age, I didn't even know if I was a boy or a girl. I was walking around with no shirt on. I was so serious, man. I ain't had none.
I'm just saying, yo.
Hey,
I know they wasn't formed yet, look, but yeah.
I'm outside, you know what I mean? I'm climbing trees and shit. I done took my shirt off. Shit, the boys got their shirt off. Why can't I have mine? You know what I mean? So, like, but but nah, like, my brother, like, they mainly, like, played in the house or in the yard. So, like, I was the one that was always ripping up and down the streets and stuff, you know, doing backwards flips and jumping on old mattresses in the back of the houses and shit. You know what I mean? That's what I did or whatever. So they really didn't have to deal with, you know, like the older kids and everything and stuff. So they didn't have to go through the things that I went through and everything. So I think they had it a little easier than I did, most definitely. And everything, so yeah, I don't think they really experienced no bullying.
So, at what point did the bully stop bullying? Like, when did Sareah step up? Like, all right, this shit ain't happening no more.
Sareah didn't. You know how big that bitch was, man. Okay, bro.
Sareah did.
Sareah didn't. You hear me? Like, she had to be like middle school. I'm elementary. But this, you know, she hella tall. I was, you know, short. Because I'm nothing but like 5, 6, 7 foot right now. You catch that, didn't you?
Nah, I heard you. That's why I'm looking at you like this.
Nah, but nah, but like she was, you know, towering over me and shit. Like, that's a big ass girl. Like, and the crazy part is, as dark as I was, she was just as dark as me. And I think that she was, you know what I'm saying, laying all her anger and her pain from how people probably treated her off onto me. And I think, you know, humans, we do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like you're trying to, but you do it without knowing sometimes. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Like, because you could be feeling some type of way about a situation, and it has nothing to do with this person over here, or it has nothing to do with whatever, but you might take it out on that person there. You know, you might just lean into it even more and shit. Like, we do that as humans and everything. Mm-hmm. Like, we really do. That's why I try to, like, leave work at work. When I walk through my front door, work does not walk in with me. When I go to work, my home does not walk into work with me, because it will affect you. You know what I mean? Like, it'll mess with you mentally. Because if I'm thinking about this argument that I had at home and shit, and whatever the fuck we dealing with before, I just drove 30 minutes to get to this motherfucker, and then I walk in here and I'm yelling and cussing at them, and then I'm not focused. Like, something's gonna get messed up. Somebody's gonna catch it. You know what I mean? Like, motherfucker, look at me wrong, bitch. What? You know, like, I'm gonna pop off. So I had to learn that. You know what I mean? To keep work life, home life separate. You know, like, kind of like work is like a drug, and you don't shit where you lay it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you don't bring that shit there. Like, you just don't. But Oh yeah, back to like siblings and I think I want to say I was jealous of my brother. You know, for the simple fact his daddy was around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I was very jealous of him. I felt like I wasn't getting the attention I needed as a child, especially as, you know, a young female. You know, girls need more attention than boys do. You know, they go through a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
With boys, you know, you can throw some water on them and throw them out the door and shit. With
Mm-hmm.
girls, you got to tend to them more and everything. You know, they really need to know about their hygiene and how to take care of themselves and everything. Like, I was angry a lot, you know, and I think that's why, like, you know, I laugh, I joke sometimes. You hide it with that. And I did it a lot, especially like throughout high school and everything. Like, I hid a lot of the pain that I was dealing with at home by going to school, acting out, you know, being a class clown, skipping, always in ISS. I seen all the good fights in the office. Like, I did, because I'm tell you, you know, that one girl tore up that one girl up in there. I don't want to say no name, but
probably instigated.
Hey, I didn't.
I feel like I know which fight you're talking about.
Hey, I'm gonna just say I was sitting there minding my business, waiting to get my slip so I can go to ISS, and somebody came in. I'm like, "What you doing in here? You a straight A student?" Oh, this bitch had me fucked up, and then the bitch came in there, and then it was on, and I was like, "Damn!" Glasses, weave, everything. Hey, that little one though, she got that big one. You're like,
instigated.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
It took the goddamn principal and all of them like 15, 20 minutes. They literally banging in the attendance office at Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey man, but I was very angry.
So you had no relationship at all with your father? Like even when he was in no writing, no.
No, my dad, he always made sure he wrote me and sent me cards, holidays, birthdays, and stuff while he was locked away. You know what I mean? His brother, though, my Uncle Victor, he made himself present in my life. I think my Uncle Victor, as far as I can remember, going back, I started noticing him about 6 or 7, coming around and everything. Like, he pretty much, you know, filled in for my dad when he wasn't there or whatever. You know, he always checked on me. Like, to this day, you know, he checks on me. Or, shit, I'm calling and checking on him. But, like, when my dad was out, you know, I seen him. And it's crazy because out of all the moments that, you know, people talk about that they've had with their dads and everything and shit, the only moment that I could truly say I had with my father is I was in middle school. I was going to Westport Middle at the time, and I had came home and everything because I was playing for some little basketball team that they had or whatever. He was there. Shocked the fuck out of me, but I was happy as shit. You know what I mean? It was like I had just seen him for the first time, you know what I mean? Knowing that I seen him before or whatever. But this time, like, it was just me and him. It was the first time we ever had one-on-one time. We went up to George Washington Carver over there off of Inwood. Went behind it because they had got the basketball goals back there and shit. So we went back there, played a game. He whooped me, you know what I mean? But that's a game I'll never forget. You know what I mean? And because I just lost him in 2019 from cancer. Like, and although, you know, my dad wasn't like real present in my life, he was always present in my heart. You know what I mean? Like, I never was angry at him. I never held nothing against that man and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, you hear your mothers or aunties always say, mama's babies, daddy's maybes, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And because my mama just literally said that about one of my brothers. But I never held a grudge against this man. Like, I always made it my business to try to make sure I found out where he was. And it's crazy that I have other aunties and uncles out here that I've never even met. I got cousins I don't even know on his side of the family because his family didn't want nothing to do with me. The only one that did was my Uncle Victor. And that's the only one I claim. Even his mother. You know what I mean? Like, I remember one time I went over her house because she stayed off of 18th and Benton. And I was looking for him. So, run the doorbell. She came to the door. And I was like, have you heard from my dad? And she was like, yeah. I was like, do you have his number or something? And this when he was living in Minnesota. She was like, let me call him and see if it's okay if I give you his number. What? It's my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't believe that I was his. You know what I mean? They made him do a paternity test and everything. Like, if I think it's CaseNet or some shit. If I get on there, it still shows it and everything. Back in 90 something or whatever. But I never held anything against him. I never blamed him for not being there. Like, but I did like go off on him one time back in 2012. It was in October. I remember that. I was like, I said it's kind of messed up that every time I'm trying to reach out to you or get a hold of you, I gotta go through some shit. You know what I mean? I said if something was to happen to you, your family wouldn't even probably reach out to me or try to find me to tell me. I said that's kind of fucked up, don't you think? You know what I mean? I said I look just like you. I act in some ways just like you. Because honestly, I don't really see my mother in me. I really feel like I have more of my dad in me than my mother. But I had to let him know how I felt. And my daddy, he talked fast. You know what I mean? And he always would say, man, this, man, that. So it's like, he never like really address you by your name or, daughter, son, whatever. Because it's me and my brother George on my daddy's side. And then the other two with my mom. But George is like a spitting image of this nigga. Man. Like, them niggas could be brothers. But, like, I just had to let him know how I felt about that. Because I want to make sure that if something was to have happened to him, I would know. You know what I mean? And in 2019, I lost my daddy, from cancer.
Like, before you go there, what was his reaction when you told him that, though? Like, what did he ever give you
It was just like, I know, man.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay,
it.
Got it.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I know, man. Like, man. I said, that's all I wanted to tell you. I hung up the phone. I said, reached out to that nigga later.
Did he get any better?
He did. Would communicate with me.
Yeah.
Like, he made it his business to start finding me, reaching out to me more. He had got married. He was living in Minnesota. He would like, I wasn't hearing from him just on holidays or birthdays. Now, like, my dad is hitting me up out of the blue. What you doing? I seen your video on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, that made me smile because this is just like, out of all the things I've done in life, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that one little piece that I know that he saw. You know what I mean? I know that he was happy about or he was bragging about and shit. You know what I mean? Like, and when he got sick in 2016, he didn't want to tell me. He had little spots on his lungs and everything. He did not want to tell me or whatever. But I'm glad he did. You know, I think his wife made him tell me. Honestly, you know, he went through the chemo and everything because my daddy was also in the military as well. So he was a vet and everything. His food contract was only for 1 year, and he got all that damn money. I tell you, that nigga had it made. Nah, but like, she pretty much like kept me informed with what was going on with him, because when it got worse, he didn't want to tell me. Like when it was like real bad, he played it off like he was good. Cause I was always calling, you know, cause I knew when he was going to chemo and everything, and I'm however many miles away in a whole nother state. Like all I can do right now is call. So I did go see him in 2016 though. That was my not my first time going to Minnesota, but my first time like going up there to see him or whatever there. Why? Since he had been there, you know, he was rolling around a little scooter because he had like some back problems or whatever and stuff. So he, you know, had his little scooter, his little cane and everything and shit. It was cool then. And then like I say 2018 got a little worse or whatever. But like I said, he wouldn't tell me how bad it was getting. So his wife was telling me, yeah, he's not telling you everything. Like he's not telling you that, you know, like the spot has gotten bigger or whatever, you know. Because anytime I would call him, he'll be real tired, you know, especially from the chemo. I know chemo drains you because I've lost a lot of people from cancer. But 2019, November 4th is when my daddy passed away. I talked to him Sunday because that's when I found out he was in the hospital or whatever. This is when I found out how bad it really was. You know what I mean? Shit. His wife called me while I was at work. His wife called me while I was at work. He went in the hospital Sunday, but his wife called me that Monday and shit. And told me, you know, he's in the hospital because his lung collapsed. One of his lungs collapsed. And I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, it got bad. She said, your daddy got cancer throughout his whole body. Like, from head to toe. I said, I didn't either. It's possible. And, like, she told me that I was just, you know, just taking it all in. You know, I'm at work. I got to keep my composure and shit. Because I still got however many more hours to get through. Because I think she called me like at 8 something in the morning. You know, I got there like at 6 or whatever. So I'm already 2 hours in, but now she's telling me this, and I'm like, damn. And she was like, you want to talk to him? I said, he could talk. I didn't think he could talk, you know what I mean? So get on the phone with him. He like, man, I'm okay. You know, I'm gonna be all right. I'm good. I said, you don't sound good and everything. So got off the phone with him, and I talked to him again around my lunch. I called back up there, you know, to just see, you know, if anything's changed, you know, like what's going on with his lungs now and everything. And he was like, oh, they about to release me. I'm about to go home. That's exactly what this man told me. And I read that it's happened to me twice. That's why, you know what I mean? But I read that sometimes when people are about to die or just take that leap, you know what I mean? They get a burst of energy or whatever. My auntie did it. She had cancer. She died at the age of 42. She was like, Stink, I'm going home. She told me the same thing back in 2014. Said, Stink, I'm going home. She lasted a little bit longer than he did. But she did go home. And I just happened to be in that damn room with her. My daddy said the same thing. He said, man, I'm about to go home. I said, how is you going home with a collapsed lung? You know what I mean? He said, I'm feeling good. They about to let me go now. I said, all right, man, I'm going to be up there this weekend and come and see you. I said, because I'm off on the weekends. I said, as soon as I get off of work Friday, I'm going to drive up there. He said, okay. He said, I love you. I said, I love you too, Daddy. And that was the last time I talked to my daddy. His wife called me about 7 or 8, 8:30ish, I'll say close to 9 that night. And she was just bawling on the phone, you know. She was like, he gone. I was in the middle of eating. And you know, when you get upset, your appetite changes. When you hurt, your appetite changes or whatever. Like, I don't even know if I ate majority of that week, because I had some bowlings, and I love me some bowlings, but she told me that, G, and like my whole it felt like my body shut down. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't move. Because like I said, I never blamed him for not really being there. I love the fact that he showed up when he did, though. Like, he didn't even see. Whew. He didn't get a chance to see like everything that I accomplished throughout life. You know what I mean? From playing basketball, graduating high school, going into the military, like doing all these things that I've done, all these awards that I got, medals that I received for helping with hurricanes and shit, you know what I'm saying, down in Louisiana. Like, he didn't get to enjoy those moments with me. But I never blamed him. And I wasn't angry when he left, because I knew, you know what I mean, like, you can't fight something that's in your whole body like that. Like, one thing about cancer, when it wants you, it will take you. You know what I mean? Like, you watch people have like 300-something pounds on them, and then boom, they just frail as hell from this disease, and it tore my daddy up. Like, to have cancer throughout your whole body, like, and it's like that burst of energy. It's like he knew he was about to go. You know what I mean? He knew. And like I said, he didn't want to tell me. He never told me nothing for real. You know, he always kept things from me so that I wouldn't hurt. And I think he was trying to protect me. You know what I mean? And I get that.
Trying to not put a heavy burden on you.
Yeah.
Add extra burden to you.
And
men are like that. A lot of men are like that. You know?
And, you know, like, I get that, but I'm your firstborn.
Yeah.
And since you told me you had it, I've been on your ass about your medicine, your chemo, everything. And like, I lost a lot of me when he left. You know what I mean? Like,
think about this. Like, for somebody who hasn't been in your life, you know, us as men, and we just kind of be like, yo, I mean, the people who don't want to leave that paradigm. So who am I to put her through this? Not thinking that not telling you is putting you through it too,
Man.
but it's kind of like, damn, I don't want. She got enough going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there like I should have been for her. Who am I to have her here taking care of me? And I mean, it's a lot of that shit is guilt too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve somebody, you know, somebody who probably hasn't forgiven themselves.
And, you know, I had to learn forgiveness too. Ooh, man. Like, with him and my mother. I had to learn to forgive them for a lot of things that I felt like they had no control over. Or, I had no control over. You know what I mean? You know, we get older and we tend to try to blame our parents for how our lives have turned out. I hear it all the time from different people. I've never blamed my mother or my father for anything that I went through. I'm an adult now. So if I go rob that damn bank, it's not because my mother did drugs or my father wasn't in my life. Because I robbed that bank. You know what I mean? Like, but people tend to blame their parents for how they are or whatever. They did their job. Move the fuck on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not holding no grudges against my mother. I really had to learn forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? Like, prayer is a motherfucker. Like, if you don't pray, man, you better start. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, without forgiveness, man, it weighs on you. It's like you carrying an extra person. You really are. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's all your anger, all your sadness, that heartache, all the pain and everything that you went through as a young adult and everything, and you just keep it on your back. Because at any given moment, when you feel like it and shit, or you get into it with your mom or your father or whatever, you just pull that motherfucker out, reach into it and throw it at them. But you just doing what? Making them feel shitty? They did the best they could. My mother did. My mother did the best she could. You know what I mean? I don't blame her for nothing. I don't hold no grudges against my mom. I love my mama to death. I wish a motherfucker would. You hear me? Like, because at the end of the day, like, even though she was, you know, on drugs or whatever, she still got up and she went to work. We might not have had every utility on all at once sometimes and shit, or we just wasn't in the best living conditions and everything. She always made sure we had a roof over our head, though. It's only been one time in my life that I ever stayed in a homeless shelter with my mother. You know what I mean? That was an embarrassing moment for me. To be picked up by your school bus in front of a fucking shelter.
Mm-hmm.
You got your classmates asking if you live there. Nope. Stay down the street. This is my bus stop. Why? You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want them to know that. You know what I mean? Like, nobody really knew that. Shit. I'm just now telling you shit.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't know that. You know, had to stay in a fucking homeless shelter. And I've never been to one, shit. Like, it does something to you, you know what I mean? It really does. Like, it really does. Because you see other people in there, but you're not really thinking about them. You think about yourself. Why are we here? Why we can't have our own house? You know what I mean? Like, you just think about shit like that. But everything that I went through, I really had to learn to forgive my mother because she did the best she could with what she had. You know what I mean? Like, and she did. Honestly, I think she did a fucking fantastic job raising me. I wouldn't be the person I am today without how she raised me. It made me have tough skin. It made me want to go harder. It made me want to join the military. It made me want to have a different mindset about life and how to reach for my goals. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be just another motherfucker just hanging on the street and doing nothing. Like, all because my mama fucked up? My daddy ain't around? Come on now. I never wanted to put myself in a position to where I couldn't take care of myself. And if I had kids, couldn't take care of them and provide for them. So I pushed myself hella fucking hard. Like, you know, working at Apple Market off of Independence Avenue, Price Chopper off of Independence Avenue. You know what I mean? Like, we stayed on 40th and Bell Fountain. But before we moved there, we were staying with my uncle. And that was the first house that my mother took me to go see when she was looking for houses, right? And the deposit was $900, G, right? And I'm working at Apple Market, making minimum wage $5.25 and shit. You know what I mean? You get them $200-$300 checks and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? You think you balling at that age and shit. Yeah, I was. No. At least
that's a lot of money in school, in high school.
Man.
When we was in high school.
Hell yeah, you get all the hot chips and cheese you want.
Fruitopias
shit. But that $900, she couldn't have made, had that deposit on her own. I spent from the age of 15 until I moved out of my mama's house working to help pay bills, lights, gas, whatever. Thankfully, she never had nothing in my name, you know what I mean? So I didn't have no problems turning on my own shit. But, like, I worked my ass off, you know what I'm saying, most summers when I should be chilling. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing things I shouldn't even have to be worried about. I shouldn't be worried about paying the gas bill. I should be worried about paying the light bill. You know what I mean? Like, I should be enjoying my money while most of my friends was probably like going to the mall or to the movies or, Worlds of Fun and shit. I was working. You know what I mean? Like, and trying to make sure that we kept the lights on. We had that deposit and we was able to eat and shit like that. Like, because I wanted more. I wanted those shoes. So I was working my ass off to get those shoes or those clothes or whatever and shit. So
let me say something. Just to throw the people some bell that you were saying, because I definitely get what you're saying. Like, get over that shit, get to it. But just to throw them some bell, like, when you go through these things, they do create a person in you that you feel you have to be in order to survive.
Hell yeah.
So when you say get over it, it's just not that simple a lot of the times. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have the mindset that you do. Some of us take it and go the other way. While I do understand exactly what you're saying, and also I feel I think you shooting your parents a lot of bail, which we tend to do, which is dope.
Yeah.
But you do have to hold them accountable in order for them to be better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your mom she didn't do horrible, but she could have done better. Like we all could. Because you said she did the best she could. No, she could have done better because instead of using, she could have. Because you were saying, while I'm hearing you talk, you saying, why I can't have these shoes? Why I can't? And you, listen, it's not about the brand because you don't need the Jordans and all of that. But why you can't have the things that you need at least? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and this is not to like talk about her or anything. This is just like we gotta hold ourselves accountable and people accountable. Yeah. So they'll know, like, because if you don't tell them what you feel, they don't know. It's like they really believe, oh, well, I was great, and it doesn't make them get better. And some of them know they wasn't so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, none of us are great at it. You know what I'm saying? We all got our own little or fixes that we go through. It might not be drugs, but it may be something else. It's just a body drug, but we don't look at it as body drug because it's not having that same visual effect, but it's having that effect.
Yeah, most definitely.
So this is not about her. This is about us in general. Like we gotta hold people accountable so they can be better.
Yeah.
Through, now going back to around the time that your father passed away and connecting that to your mother. Around this time, was she getting clean at that time? Around when he passed away?
The crazy part is she had just started getting off of drugs. To this day, I have not properly grieved for my father. Okay? I didn't get a chance to because I'm still somebody else's child now. And now this other parent needs my help. You know what I mean? Like, my mother was dealing with, what they call it, it's a form of depression, to where, God, I think it's something depression. It's like,
what does it cause in you? And then we'll look it up. I'll look it up later.
I want to say it's psychosis, depression, or something like that. But makes her have hallucinations. Like, I was getting phone calls that my mother was missing. I thought my mama was literally about to die. You know what I mean? Like, because she was losing her mind. One night, she left my brother's house. And my mama has a car. She got out of her car in the 80s. My grandfather stays in the 70s. She got out of her car, left it at his apartment, walked from, what's that, like 82nd, 81st, Truce, all the way to fucking 70-something Wayne. At like 3, 4 something in the morning with a blanket wrapped around her. My mama thought her car was on fire. Like, I get a phone call. I'm at work. Your mama's missing. We can't find her. I'm calling her. She like, Stink. That's my nickname. I don't want to hear nobody calling me that later. But she was like, Stink. My car's on fire. I said, Mama, where you at? She hung up the phone. You think just because of the drugs that she might be getting high, but she really wasn't. She had nothing in her system. We made her do, a drug test at the hospital and everything and shit. Like, I had to hurry the fuck up and get off of work and go find my mother who was having hallucinations and shit before something bad really happens. You know what I mean? And I don't know if her fucking car was on fire. Did she set it on fire? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm thinking about everything, and I called my brother. Hey, she's missing. You go this way down this particular street. I'm gonna go this way. And I get a phone call. My mother was all the way up there off of what the fuck is that? 9050 Blue Ridge at their price shop. Yeah, Blue Ridge and Bannister. Yeah, right there at their price shop. She was standing on the outside of her car and fanning her car. She said, "You don't see the smoke?" I said, "Mama, there's no smoke. There's no smoke." I had to have, I think my uncle had to bring her car back to my auntie's house and stuff. Like, the hardest thing with that was to actually have my mother admitted to a hospital, a psychiatric hospital. Like, that's some hard shit to do. You know what I mean? Like, I've always heard my mother, well, she's always told me, like, Stink, don't put me in no nursing home. Okay. Put your ass in the nursing home, you know what I mean? But you'll never hear your parents say, don't put me in no psychiatric place. They always tell you, don't put me in no nursing home. I better be living with you, you know what I mean? I had to put my mother in a psychiatric facility because the depression that she had was messing with her mental, you know what I mean? And it was bad, you know. Shit, I honestly almost lost my mother. She almost died in 2018. You know what I mean? From she had meningitis, pneumonia. You know, like, I've been through some shit, man. Like,
when you had to admit her, was she mad at you? Was she coming at like, you gonna do me like this? Or did she know what was going on? Did she understand what?
She wasn't mad. She was more so hurt. She broke down crying and shit. She was like, Stink, don't do me like this. Don't do me like this. I don't want to go, you know. And it's like, I can't help you. Like, you want to help so bad.
But this is
it. Exactly. But, you know, she's scared. She's thinking they're going to do something to her. They're going to make her worse or whatever. Like, Mom, I'm trying to help you right here. This is my help. Yeah. I can't really help you. I can't keep taking off of work. I can't keep leaving work. I have bills, you know what I mean? So it's like, we had to do something. My youngest brother, you know, he don't want to deal with it. My other brother, he's like, man, I can't do this shit. You know what I mean? It's on me now. You know this. I take on everything. So, like, she was hurt. She wasn't upset. She was hurt. I never seen my mama cry like that. You know, I've seen her cry, you know, from like losing someone, but not like, don't let them do, you know, don't let them take me and shit like that, like scared type hurt. But eventually she got better. You know what I mean? Like, yes, she had to go on some medication and everything for depression and everything. They said what it was is that we lost her sister, my aunt, in 2014. Turned around and lost her husband in 2015. And then turned around and lose her mother in 2017. Said the grief that she was dealing with took her into this depression. And it was having her mind all over the place. Like, shit. It was like psychotic type shit or whatever they call it. But they said the grief is what did it. That's what threw her into that state of mind. I said, damn, grief could do that to you? I know stress can, you know what I mean? But she got the help she needed.
How was that first visit with her?
I didn't.
You never visited her up there?
Till
she was, but you talked to her on the phone?
Talked to her on the phone.
Okay. Did she ever wonder why you wasn't visiting her? Okay.
I told her I wasn't coming.
How long was she in
there? First time, I ain't gonna lie, I think she was in there like a few weeks. Jeez. Let me tell you something about these damn hospitals, okay? This how I know that it's probably really some real life crazy people run around that let themselves out of the hospital. They didn't like escape or nothing like that. Like they played like they was cool, and then boom, these motherfuckers like, okay, you're good to go, and you know, like let them out, and now they're just running fucking free and just losing their fucking mind somewhere else. She seemed okay. She seemed better. She signed herself out.
Why not have somebody come pick this person up? Like, you can't go unless somebody comes and get you.
Yeah, bro. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
So they let her out, and when I talked to her, I'm like, "Mom, what you doing at the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be in there 60 days. I signed a thing that said 60 days. Like, you're supposed to be in there a good minute, get you together." And she said, "I couldn't do that shit. I want staying in there. Like, I can't." You know what I mean? She said, "Them motherfuckers is crazy." Like,
straight up, Mom.
Like,
straight up.
I said, "I know, that's why you was in there." Like, you crazy too, shit.
You ain't say that.
You know, you say shit up under your breath. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like when you got in trouble, you go in the room like, "Fuck that bitch." You know what I mean? Like, you say shit like that. Oh man, I did that all the time. Motherfucker, fuck you. I bet I won't wash another dish. Like,
what was that? Kevin Hart was
like, he went in the room and shit.
Hell yeah.
Like, for real. But she had another episode and shit. And had to leave work again. Younger brother, he not dealing with it.
Yeah.
My other brother, you know, and this happened like at my aunt's house. I got to really see it for myself. Because the first time I didn't see it.
I mean, you seen the fanning, right? Her fanning
the
car.
That fanning part, but it was like another situation before that happened that I didn't see. You know what I mean? So, and they say that was like 10 times worse than the fanning of the car or whatever. To me, this took the cake, though. You know what I mean? Like, out of the, what they was explaining to me from the other times or whatever, like, to me, this was worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get the phone call, my aunt, you know, she tells me, "Stink, I need you to get over here. You know, like, I'm about to call, you know, the ambulance, and then the paramedics come get your mother." Like, she's freaking out and everything. She's thinking the house is on fire. She think people's trying to kill her. And I've only had like 2 moments in my life with my mother, like, where I felt like I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? And I felt helpless and everything. And this was one of the moments. When I got to my aunt's house, my brother had pulled up. My mother was like walking through the house, like nervous, freaking out, scared of something and everything. And I'm, you know, trying to grab her, calm her down. And she looked at me. She said, "You trying to kill me?" I said, "Nah, Mom, I wouldn't hurt you." She said, "Get away from me." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know you. Like, that's the second time in my life where my mama didn't know who the fuck I was. You know what I mean? And as a child of this person, you know, that shit hurts. You know, mama don't know who you is. You know what I mean? Like, it fucked with me and everything. But once we was able to get her to calm down and the paramedics showed up, you know, the police had to show up or whatever, admitted her again. This time, hey, goddamn, let her out. We gonna have some problems, man. She stayed though. And I had to tell her, "You need to stay. You need to help. We cannot help you. We're not doctors. I can't tell you what's wrong with you. I can't give you prescriptions that'll make you feel better. You know what I mean? That'll help with this depression and these moods that you're going through to where you're disappearing. Nobody knows where you're at. You're thinking shit is on fire. You're thinking I'm trying to kill you. You don't know who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? So, like, that was a tough moment and everything with her. She's better now. You know, she works and shit. She loves courting and sharing for whatever reason. Nah. Nah, them her girls. But
it's good to know you still got a relationship with them.
Oh yeah, man. I really try to stay in contact with a lot of y'all from school. Like it's people from elementary, and I went to 2 elementaries. You know what I mean? Like Northeast was the only high school I went to, but I went to 2 elementaries, 2 middle schools, and shit. I'm like, Mama, I'll catch the bus to go to Northeast.
You better not have left me, dog.
Man, you know what they were trying to send me? Because I stayed on Bellefontaine Central. Oh. I said, hell no. Nah. I said, you know what goes on over there? Things. A lot of things. 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 Like, a lot of things. Like, for real.
Speaking of high school. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, but I was going to touch bases on the other time that with my mother when she had meningitis. She had been sick. You know what I mean? She went to the hospital. They gave her some type of medicine or whatever and shit. And the crazy part is, this all happened on my brother's birthday in November. His birthday is November 19th. And she went to the hospital earlier that day because she wasn't feeling good. So they just told her, you know, just a little cold, maybe the flu or something and shit. It wasn't COVID or nothing like that. I think, this before we even found out about COVID and everything. So later on that night, we at my brother's house watching a football game. My mother, she's over her friend Kim's house and shit. Watching the football game, you know, we talking shit. I see the snaps every time that day comes up and everything of us chilling, hanging out, betting and everything. Niggas throwing wallets and credit cards on the floor and shit. You know, we having a good ass time. About 10:30, her friend gives me a call. And she said, I think you need to take your mother to the emergency room. She's being real lethargic and everything. I said, okay. And honestly, I think this actually was a reason why she was having those illusions too, you know, hallucinations or whatever and shit. So I went and picked her up. She was over in Lee Summit. Picked her up. And like I had to walk my mother to the car. She didn't know where she was at. And it was like she wasn't coherent or nothing like that and shit. Like she just really didn't know where the fuck she was at. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she was mumbling or whatever. And I put her in the car and I'm like, Mom, you all right? I'm all right, but something's not right. You know what I'm saying? So now this is at 10:30ish or whatever. So I took her to whatever Truman is over there, close by Lee Summit, the closest one. Took her to that one, and I think that was a Truman. What was it? It was
St. Luke's or something.
St. Luke's, that's what it was. Took her to St. Luke's because we ended up at a Truman. Took her to the St. Luke's, get her in there, get her all checked in. You know what I'm saying? I got her purse and everything. They get her back to the room, and I'm just telling them, you know, well, her friend says she's being lethargic and she's just been mumbling or whatever. She says she doesn't really feel good. I know she went to the emergency room earlier that day and stuff. Like I really didn't know what was wrong. Shit, the doctors didn't know what was wrong. They wanted to do a spinal tap, all kinds of shit. I think about 12 something, my brother showed up. He went back there to see her. I was outside talking to people because people kept calling my damn phone or whatever. My family's big, so it's like you get one phone call, you get another one. Mm-hmm. And somebody telling this person now your phone just won't stop ringing. Now take in mind though, bro, I had been up all day. I went to work, went to my brother's house. Now I'm at this hospital. I ain't had no nap in between. I ain't been asleep and shit. So I'm running. My brother get back there. He come out crying. Don't do me like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to prepare myself for the worst. And you come from the back crying and shit. Woo, boy, I had to take a deep breath. Like, what's wrong? He's like, man, she don't know who I am. I said, I know what to say to it. Because I went back there, you know what I mean? So I don't know, whatever's going on and shit. When I go back there, and sure enough, my mama did not know who I was. And then, because I asked her, I said, Mama, you know who I am? She just shook her head. My mama was talking to me when I picked her up. My mama could not speak at all at 12 something in the morning, bro. Like, she was trying to say things. No words were coming out. It was just moans. And I'm asking the doctor, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, they talk about it might be laryngitis. We're going to probably have to do a spinal tap. All this shit. And I'm like, okay, well, y'all need to do something, figure it out, whatever. So they couldn't. They didn't know what it was. So they transferred her from St. Luke's to Truman. They felt like Truman, probably could deal with it better or whatever. So, like I said, I ain't had no nap, no nothing. My brothers, they don't know how to deal with certain things or whatever. But I'm a little exhausted at this point, you know what I mean? Because I'm still up. Even though I drove, I'm up. I'm not on no energy drinks or nothing. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my mom, you know what I mean? So, we get to Truman. They were trying to say that she had pneumonia. I said, pneumonia make you stop talking?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I've had walking pneumonia. That shit sucks, okay? Like, that shit sucks. But I didn't stop talking. I've known people with pneumonia. They didn't stop talking. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't right. It's not just pneumonia. It's got to be something else. You know what I mean? Phone's still going off. Man, probably like an hour or two later after that, bro, my mother looked like my auntie did when she was on her deathbed of cancer. Her face was turned to the side. Her mouth was wide open. You could just see the pain in her face, though. But she couldn't speak. She's just making these noises and shit. And I think that's when I broke. Because I'm like, my mother's about to fucking die and shit. These motherfuckers come in with these chemical suits on and shit. Like it's an outbreak or something. Shit, you ain't gave me nothing. You know what I mean? Like, to cover myself up or nothing. They tell me that she had meningitis. She had swelling on her spine and her brain. That's what shut her down. That's why she couldn't speak. And, like, they really said all they can do is make her comfortable. The worst words you can tell a person. You know what I mean? Like, because when you hear make somebody comfortable, you automatically preparing yourself, this person's about to die. My uncle from Atlanta, when he was alive at the time, he's calling me. My grandpa was on his way up there. Like, it was looking that bad. Like, I'm like, damn, I'm trying to prepare myself. But you can't really prepare yourself to lose a parent.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Especially your mother. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, when you lose, I've lost my grandmother as well. So it's like, I've lost some major figures in my life. Yeah. Your grandmother's like she's like your second mother. She give you that different kind of love. Mm-hmm. So when you lose her and everything, that shit hurts so deep. And it's painful. Like, I would never want to imagine losing my mother. I know it's going to happen. You know what I mean? It has to happen. Or whatever. Because I watched so many of my cousins lose their mothers.
Yeah.
And I would never want that pain or wish that pain on nobody. You know what I mean? Because I've seen what they feel like. I almost felt like that. And I thank God every day that I'm not feeling like that right now. You know what I mean? But like, it took a minute for them to even get her better and shit. Cause like I said, she's at her second hospital now. Now they're about to transfer her to the Truman downtown and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By the time we get down there, I'm still up. It's the next day. It's like, what, 4 or 5 something now. Into a whole nother day. I still ain't slept. I ain't ate. I'm in the same fucking clothes I was in when I was at my brother's house. And all I wanted was some fucking relief.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I wanted my brothers to relieve me. Give me a couple hours to go get myself together. Because I'm the one that's taking it all in. I'm the one that's dealing with everything. I got to listen to the doctors. I got to watch her go through this. I'm here. You niggas is just ripping and running the streets, and y'all just said, fuck me. You know, like, can I have just 2 hours to wash my ass, change my clothes, maybe put something on my belly? I'll come right back. My mind was so exhausted with that shit. I just literally fucking broke down and snapped the fuck out. Like, and my aunt was like, I got it, Sting. You can go. Man, I got home, and because it still wasn't looking good, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't look good. So I got home and I just cried.
Yeah.
I literally cried for about a whole fucking hour or more. That's all I could do. I cried myself to sleep and shit. Couldn't even make it into the shower. I was hurting because I'm thinking my mom about to die. You know what I mean? Like, but like it was just horrible. It's a horrible feeling and shit. Make her comfortable.
But she made it through.
She did.
A lot of prayer.
A lot of prayer, man. Like, a lot of prayer. I say, you know, we out here for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when we do leave, we've served our purpose. My aunt was 42 years old when she left this earth. You know what I mean? From cancer. I felt like God felt like she did all she needed to do here. She was done. You know? And I had to look at that. Look at it like that when it comes to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, when God takes you home, it's because you served your purpose. You done what you needed to do. Like, but the sucky part is, though, with me saying that, though, is when it comes to kids.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I got a friend. His son had cancer. I think he only made it to like 1 year old. You know, and you want to say that they served their purpose, but what purpose did they really serve? They ain't did nothing yet.
Can't tell nobody that about their kids.
You can't. You know what I'm saying? And I never would.
Yeah.
Because I would never know what that pain feels like.
There's a purpose there, but it's probably not for you to
Understand.
tell them.
Yeah.
Because that purpose was probably for them to make that parent better through that situation.
Yeah.
As trash as it sounds,
yeah,
like coming out. But
yeah.
There's always something in something. It's just hard trying to figure that out when you're going through that.
Yeah.
So I try not to even if I went through it, it's kind of hard telling somebody, look, it's going to get better. It's going to, you just got to, I love you. I'm here.
Yeah.
I love you.
It's like, those are just the things to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To try to make someone feel better or give them a little ease to what they're dealing with and shit. You want to say, you know, in due time, it will get better. You know, it takes time. It really doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, I still hurt for the passing of my grandmother, my aunt, my stepdad, my dad, my uncle, like, my cousin Bates. Like, I've lost a lot of people. family, friends. My best friend, he got killed at a gas station that he was pulling into. The bullets weren't even for him. You know what I'm saying? He get hit right here in the back, and it come up here and hit an artery. I had to watch that man take his last breath and shit. I had to watch his stomach fill up with fucking blood. And I'm asking the doctors, like, what is that? Why is his stomach so big? They said it's blood because we can't, as quick as we're trying to get it in, it's not coming out quick enough. You know what I mean? So it's like his body, his stomach is just bulging. There's just fucking blood. He looked pregnant. That's how much blood he had in his stomach. They couldn't stop the bleeding. You know what I mean? They're trying to give him blood and then stop the bleeding, but he's bleeding internally. Like, it's just bad, man. Like, and you want to say, to his mom and to his kids or to his siblings that it'll get better in due time. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how many times you say that, you're gonna go through so much death and everything to where, like, when do you have the time to where it gets better? Because it seems like when I lost my dad, I lost him in November. Turned around, I lost my cousin like that April and shit. Then here comes my aunt. Like, this is the end of 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
I'm just losing people every other month and shit. I never had time to grieve for him. Here comes my cousin. I ain't got time to grieve for him. Here comes my auntie. I ain't got time to grieve for her. Here comes my uncle in Atlanta. A man I talk to frequently.
And trying to keep your mama around.
Yeah. I ain't got time to grieve for him. Then my auntie's husband. I ain't got time to grieve for him. It was just back to back to back to back. And it's like, when do you get the time to, feel like it gets better? You know what I mean?
I don't think it ever actually gets better, the fact that they're absent, but I think the way you move through it now gets better. Because at first when it happens, you're probably just laying down and don't know what you're going to do, or not you in particular, but a lot of us, like, we're sitting still or whatever. And then we start to be able to move on with life a little bit more day by day. So that part may get better, you being able to move, but you'll never get over losing that person because you're always going to have something that reminds you of them. Yeah. Like, man, I just did that right this morning with my auntie. I think she was around 40-something, when she was 42 or something like that, losing her. So when they were saying, I'm going home, does that take a different meaning for you now? Maybe they meant it in a different way, you think?
It does. Like I said, my aunt said it first. Then I heard my dad say it. You know what I mean? When my uncle, I had talked to him the same day he passed away too. It's crazy that you speak to people on the day that they die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you hear their voice, you hear their last words, and then they're gone. Like, because my uncle, he passed away from cancer as well. And I talked to him. He said, "Stink, I'm gonna be all right." They gotta stop telling me that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know that's what they want. I know it is. Shit, that's what I want too. But it's. I think that's what makes it hard for me, because it's like, you lied to me. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like that.
Maybe they meant it in a different way though. Like,
yeah, but
I'm gonna be all right however it is.
It's like, it does give you a different feeling when those words are spoken. I'm going home. Now, when my aunt said it and then my dad said it, I'm like, yeah, he's going. I'm just hoping I get up there before he goes. You know what I'm saying? But he went before I did. He went that Monday night and shit. And I hopped on the highway 5-something in the morning Tuesday and shit. And remember that song Blackberry Molasses?
Yeah.
And shit. Like, that song is so relatable to how my dad, you know what I'm saying, went. Because it starts off, woke up Sunday morning, got a little bad news today. It started on Sunday. You know what I mean? So it's like, that song fit so well with what happened or how he went. You know what I mean? So I literally rode to that song for 6.5, 7 hours. Fucking Minnesota and shit. I got motherfuckers calling me, text me. I don't text and drive. I hate it. If I ever catch you texting and driving, not you in particular, but anybody.
Nah, anybody. Yeah. Anybody.
Like that shit is so stupid. But I don't text and drive, and I had so many people texting me, calling me. I'm trying to use my GPS on my phone and shit. Think you okay? Just lost my damn daddy. Hell no, I ain't okay. Like I'm trying to drive this goddamn road, you know, just keep my mind off of it for now. Because I had not cried neither. You know, I was hurt, but I had not really cried and shit. It's like I felt it when I got off of work. You know, it's like I kind of felt it. But then when she called me and told me that he was gone, it was like I just sat there. I was kind of stuck or whatever. Because I was a little in disbelief. You know what I mean? Like, I just talked to this man and shit. But when I got up there, you know, got to the hospital, because they had his body still at the hospital or whatever, she was trying to let me see him before they took him over to the funeral home or whatever. And I think the funeral home had already came and got him by the time I made it there, right? So the only thing we could, you know, get from the hospital is his clothes and stuff, what he had on and everything, all his paperwork and everything. He had a big ass bag, had his coat in there and shit, everything, and it had his name and the room number on there that he was in. So we went to their apartment or whatever, because the funeral home wanted to, you know, clean him up or whatever for me, because he got cremated and shit. One thing about Minnesota, like if you pass away up there, or you know, just stand up there and you lose somebody and shit, like they help you with the burial and everything and stuff. Yeah, like Minnesota has so many programs up there that you don't really see homeless people up there. You don't. Damn. They have, you know, programs to where, you know, they help you with housing. They give you food stamps. They help you find a job and shit. They give you the things you need to get yourself together and to, you know, at least here's a start and shit. That's what I like about Minnesota. So, and I, you know, found all that out because I got some family members up there, and then, you know, when my dad moved up there, he was telling me about that. You know, different programs they got up there. That's why you really don't see no homeless. Like, their homeless rate is so low, it's ridiculous. If a motherfucker's homeless up there, it's because they want to be. Dead ass. Like, there's no reason for anybody to be homeless in Minnesota. That's how many programs they have.
That's cold.
You know what I'm saying? But got to his apartment, and she was showing me different pictures, you know, when he was younger and shit like that. She gave me this hat of his. This nigga had a Vikings jersey, bro.
You a Viking, cuz?
I am. Northeast Vikings all day, baby. Yeah. But I've never even wore it. I still have it though.
Yeah.
I got his death certificate. I even got his birth certificate. This nigga was born in 1960 in Greenwood, Mississippi.
Why you gotta say it like that?
Cause that was
you said it exactly like that.
Greenwood, Mississippi. His race says Negro. I said again.
Yo, I probably be laughing at that. That's crazy.
I know, but
that
bro,
sounds old as shit.
Yeah.
And 1960 ain't even that old for him to have a Mississippi some else.
Man, that is something else. That motherfucker race said Negro. I said, damn. And I actually want to go down there and, you know, see Greenwood.
Yeah.
Because that's where, you know.
You want to trace them roots.
Yeah, you know. And but I was at the apartment or whatever and stuff. Uh, just sitting there and thinking about the last time I was there, and he was alive. We were talking, we were laughing, we were joking, and it just felt empty. You know what I mean? It felt real empty. Yeah. Even though, their apartment it was small, but just with him not being there felt empty.
Kind of like the movies, like when they like go into these places they used to see, they see the memories and stuff. Like it starts, you see the vision of the
like you sit there, like you really do. You ever just be sitting down one day and you be thinking about something, or you go somewhere, a familiar place that you and a loved one used to go to, and you could see y'all
as kids or whatever y'all was in that moment.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And just smile.
I seen me and him sitting on that couch and shit with my arm around him, taking this picture we took and everything and shit. Like, damn. I finally went to sleep though. So she woke me up. Funeral home was ready for me to see him or whatever. Went there, and did all the paperwork and everything. Minnesota was gonna bury him and cremate him for free. Either way, whatever we chose and stuff. The only thing that we would have paid for if we had did it was to transfer his body from Minnesota. That's one thing they don't pay for. It's to, transport the bodies and stuff. But as long as we had everything up there, it's paid for. Ain't that nice?
That's very different.
Like, that's what I said. Because down here, man, they charge your arm and leg and shit. Like, I gotta die too just to bury this motherfucker.
I gotta die too just to bury this motherfucker.
No, for real. Like, but like oh shit. But they pay for like everything. Headstone, whatever. Like I'm on the phone with my brother, we picking out stuff or whatever, for his headstone and all this shit. But then, she wants to cremate him, and I don't have nothing against cremations or whatever and stuff. I think I felt some type of way with her is because, like, she was like, okay, we're gonna cremate him because, we don't have the money to transport his body to Kansas City or whatever. That's understandable. We'll do a memorial service down there and everything and shit. Okay. We never had a memorial service for my daddy. She just gave me his ashes in a nice ass little bitty ass urn. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brother. That's it. Wasn't no memorial service. It wasn't no nothing. This is it.
No daddy kissing me here.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like all the people who loved him, who cared about him and shit, they couldn't say they last goodbyes and shit because we didn't have what you said we was gonna have. You lied to me and my brother. That's how I felt. I had to get over that.
Yeah.
I did. I didn't want to have this hatred in my heart for this woman who was by his side every day.
Yeah.
Dealing with the things that he was dealing with, going through the same pain that he was, having and stuff like that. Like I didn't want to have that. I had to learn to forgive myself for feeling that way towards this woman. Like, goodness, grow the fuck up, Sareah. God damn. You know what I mean? But we feel like that. I'm human though. That's my daddy. Like, but that's her husband. And then sometimes you feel like because I'm his child, I have more significance than she does. You know what I mean? Like, you're second hand. Hate to say it, but I was feeling like that and shit. And I really had to, hey man, stop being a fucking dick. You know what I mean? Like, that was his wife. He loved her. This probably as much as he loved you. She dealt with this. She's hurting too. You know what I'm saying? It was just a memorial service that fucked with me. You know what I mean? Like, let everybody get their last goodbyes. My brother, he didn't see my daddy before he got cremated. You know what I mean? I did. You know, went back there and touched him.
Yeah.
You know, because what I learned with my best friend is that when people are dead, they turn cold as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like outside right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that fucking cold. You know, right now we warm and shit, you know what I mean? Forehead warm and everything. When I touched my best friend's forehead, it was ice cold. Yeah, he gone. So when I touched my daddy, yeah, he gone. You know what I mean? He really gone. Even though he laying on this table and his eyes is closed, his mouth closed, he ain't moving and everything, you know. And it's crazy, I was just staring at him, trying to notice things I never noticed before. And shit, you know, like a mole or something that I've never seen, you know, like the hell you got on the top of your head, you know, where that knot come from or some shit, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to keep everything I can for as long as I can and shit. I wanted something more or whatever to have. Like, I could say that, you know, my daddy had like 2-3 moles right here and shit, you know what I mean? Like, but I kind of like, I had to, you know, ease myself away from him because I felt myself about to break and everything. And I was trying my best to keep myself together and shit. Because I've only had like a few cousins that have lost their father and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not too many of them have dealt with that. You know, they dealt with more of losing their mothers than anything and shit.
Right.
So, you know, I kissed him on his forehead. Told him I love him. And no bullshit, like one single tear just came out my eye. I couldn't let nothing else come out. Like, I had to keep it together, not just for myself, but for her. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to make sure I was together when I talked to my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And although his mother did not deal with me, I made it my business when I got back in town that following day to go see her. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Did she accept you that day?
She did. She let me in her house. But sat down on the couch with her and everything. It was weird though. She's supposed to be my grandmother. I can't even call her that though.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's my grandmother. I feel like that's just his mother. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm talking to her, you know what I mean, and asking her how she doing and how she been, and she's showing me pictures and stuff, and like, why couldn't we have this when I was younger, when I needed it, when I needed you, you know, like, why I gotta wait till now, you know what I mean, why now, and shit. So it was, you know, what it was. Like, I've called her a couple times after that, but it's nothing there that keeps me that makes me want to stay connected and everything. You know what I mean? Not in a mean way or nothing like that, or I don't feel like I'm being, you know, an asshole or whatever. Like, I just feel like I have no bond with her. Now, if his brother, you know what I'm saying, something happened to my Uncle Victor,
yeah.
Oh man, I'm there all day long. That's my nigga, you know what I mean? Like, that's like my, cause shit, them niggas look just alike.
Pops,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like
you see your pops and all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's like I don't have no connection there with that. Like,
yeah.
And I like I said, I've tried to call her and talk to her, and I found out she sold her house and now she stays in like a nursing home or whatever and shit like that. But I can't even say I love her. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because I look at myself as a person who loves everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I really do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people know if I fuck with you, I fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
Until you piss me the fuck off. You know what I mean? But I just don't feel nothing for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
No, it makes sense.
And it's like I tried. I came to your house several times looking for this man. We could have had our own relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You was here in Kansas City. But hey, it is what it is and shit. I'm grown now. Not living here no more and dealing with other shit and like,
what I want to say though is I want to give you flowers for being so understanding of people, because you always like take how you feel about it. I mean, you go through your feeling, but you quickly like you try to find understanding for those other people and help them get through too. Like for you to have that understanding for his wife, for you to have that understanding for your mom, for you to have that understanding for your dad and all of that. A lot of us don't do that. So we'll blame them for the rest of our lives, or we'll be getting at them for the rest of our lives. And I want to say that's pretty dope. Before we close, though, I do want to touch base with one more thing, because before we started, you said you didn't come into your own as far as sexuality until after high school. And what's crazy about that to me
is, not sexuality. I'll say as far as like, I knew who I was. I knew what I liked and shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just wasn't, I say I didn't have that confidence to be who I was at that moment. So like at school, hey, that's just Sareah, the basketball player, you know what I'm saying, the tomboy, whatever and shit. Once I got out of school, I was able to be me and like really grow into myself. Like dress how I really want to dress.
Before you go, because we're going to wrap right back.
Yeah.
See, when I got to school,
mm-hmm.
I've never seen. I looked at it totally different. I thought you were already like, cause you was so confident. You was always in the women's face. You was always before I got to school. I never. And the crazy thing is, Northeast was full of studs. Do you say studs?
Whatever the fuck they wanted.
Whatever they wanted. Yeah. I don't want to disrespect me. I had never really. It was damn near forbidden when we was younger.
Yeah.
Gay.
Yeah.
So when I got to Northeast,
they were everywhere.
It was everywhere, and I didn't feel like uncomfortable or nothing. It's just like we all just got along. Northeast was very like diverse.
It was very diverse. So man. We had everything.
So when I met you, it wasn't like nothing felt uncomfortable about you.
Mm-hmm.
You felt like you knew who you were when I met you. So when you said that before we started, it threw me off. I'm like, damn, it always felt like she knew who she was. She felt confident. It seemed like, I remember you flirting with dudes too, but you still used to, you was in the girls' faces heavy. So I never known like you to be with nobody for real, but I always thought you were like confident in who you were. So when you tell me that you didn't really come into your own till after school, that lets me know going through school there had to be problems for you, because you weren't really coming, you couldn't really be who you wanted to be for real, if you had to wait till after school to do that.
Well, what I mean in like that, like I said, I knew, you know what I'm saying, I like the ladies. And shit. I like the ladies. I knew I was more comfortable dressing in jeans, and I didn't want to be in no fucking dress. You know what I mean? Like, I wore a fucking dress at fucking prom because my mom wanted me to. That was not a cute moment for me, okay? I wanted to be in a fucking suit, you hear me?
I don't even remember.
Bruh,
like you were.
okay.
You gotta show me the picture.
I'm tired of looking at the pictures and shit.
You gotta show me. And I'm posting it on the video.
Fucking Sareah has it.
Send me the picture.
Man, fuck you. It's on my Facebook. Don't go to my Facebook, goddamn. Don't do me like that, man. Shit. Nah, I honestly, I'm comfortable enough with myself to say, yeah, I wore a fucking dress before. Okay, you know, like I had to. I was a fucking girl. Shit, my grandpa bought me like 2 of them when I was 13. Like, goddamn, man, you want me to wear these? One of them had big ass fucking roses on them and shit.
Goddamn, man.
Like, he the one who bought my goddamn prom dress. He bought 2 of them too. It's something about this man in 2 dresses, and which one you like? You know what I mean? All right, you can have both of them and shit.
Choices.
Yeah, he gave me choices. So to satisfy my mother, you know, and I guess it was really just satisfying other people in my family and everything. Like, I kind of had to like pretend or hide who I was with them more so than anything.
Keep the volume down.
Yeah, you know, like I got motherfuckers that smile in my face and think that, you know, I'm the sexiest thing walking as one of their family members and shit, but they treated me like shit because of who I wanted to be, who I liked, who I potentially would fall in love with. You know what I mean? Like, they out, like, even when I talk to my mother, like my aunt who passed away and shit, she knew, okay? She asked me at the age of 15, she says, think you like girls? I said, yeah. I was confident in telling her that, yeah, hell yeah, shit. I like them.
Smack some.
I like the girls. You know who you are. No. But she was like, oh, I already knew. She was like, I was just trying to make sure, you know what I mean? She said, I know. She said, it's cool with me. My auntie made me feel comfortable. But I got other aunties and I got uncles and cousins and shit like that. I had other aunties that made me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? My mother asked me when I was 17, now take in mind, I'm 17, I'm a junior, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you should have been known by now, like, you're a little late, mama. But she was on her way to work one day. And she was like, Snake, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, yeah. And she was like, do you like girls? I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, them damn bitches won't stop calling the house. I knew it was them. This how I'm getting these fucking questions now, bro. Like, this shit was ridiculous. For real, you know.
Yeah.
Look.
Damn, bitches won't stop calling the house.
Like, bitch, didn't I tell you not to call until this time? Like, she's still here. Shit. So, she was like, think you like girls? And I said, I was kind of hesitant to tell my mother. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, yeah. I said it just like that. I said, yeah. She was like, why? Like, that's exactly how she said it. She's like, why? I was like, I don't know, shit, I just do. Just fucking like it.
I don't know why I'm attracted to it, but I know that I'm attracted to it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't make this shit up, Mom. Like, yes, I think they just do something to me. Like,
I know the feeling. I like women too.
Yeah.
So,
Shut
I'm
the fuck
married.
up. Yeah. But she said, why? I said, Mom, I don't know. Like, she said, you just going through a phase.
Yeah.
That was at 17. 21 years later.
That phase is long as fuck, cuz.
Hey, this a hell of a phase and shit, you know what I mean? This been good. No?
Hell of a phase and shit.
Hey, Greenwood, Mississippi, dog.
Nah, you with Cali on that one.
Oh, man, but, like, she told me, she said, you know, I don't accept it, but you're my daughter and I love you. No, she said, I don't condone it. That's what she said.
Yeah.
She said, I don't condone it, but you're my daughter and I love you. You know what I'm saying? But I really just think you're going through a phase. Okay. We go see.
Mm-hmm.
We go motherfucking see. Because take in mind, like, people think that most women mess with women because they got daddy issues or they been hurt by men a lot and shit, or, you know, some traumatic shit happened in their life.
Right, there's something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I've been molested before by a family member, you know what I mean, at a young age and shit, and it went on for like 3 years. I'm hella cool with his motherfucking kids and shit. And I've never even told them that, what their daddy did to me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the only one he did it to in the family. You know what I mean? But that didn't make me be who I am. I'm me because that's what the fuck I am and shit. I told you I thought I was a goddamn boy. Shit, I really did.
Your chest out.
I had even had a moment. I had even had a moment. It was this time I was watching fucking Jerry Springer, bro. It was this first time I ever seen a trans man. Motherfucking name was Romeo. And shit had this badass light skinned chick on there, you know what I mean? And they came out with the faded haircut and shit. Motherfucker was clean. I'm like, that used to be a girl? I can do that? Like, you know what I mean?
Nigga left an effect on you.
Yeah, I was like, I can do that? I get all this shit gone. I'ma have that? Like, hey, I had to, you know.
Yeah.
I did my research and everything and shit, because it crossed my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I'm seeing now, lately, and shit, a lot of studs are changing themselves into men.
Yeah.
I had that thought, and it left my mind years ago and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was joking around with the chick I was with, and I was like, what if I change it to a man? You still gonna love me? You see, right? You know, I like to fuck with motherfuckers and shit. She was like, let me think about it. Like, like, damn. Like, bitch, I'm trying to make you straight. No.
That's hilarious. I'm trying to make you straight.
Hey, for real. No, but now that, you know, it left my mind, and then I had to get comfortable with my own skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean, like, growing to myself, you know?
Got it.
Like, you know, I was a little ugly duckling. Pretty fucking cute now, you know what I mean? I might be a little fine if I'm...
Brown eyes.
If I stare in the mirror too long and shit, I might kiss myself. But I'm just saying. Nah, like, I think because that confidence, that self-esteem was not there, you know, throughout high school for me. Although I walked around like I had that and shit, but I had to put on that mask because I'm dealing with everything else at home. So school was my outlet to be me, to, you know, walk around a joke and, you know, like meet great people like you and shit. You know what I'm saying? And all kinds of other people that have, you know, came in and out of the doors of Northeast and shit. Like, that's one school that I could say I've seen and did a little bit of this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, that was a stepping stone for a lot of motherfuckers. You know what I mean, man? Some great fucking fights.
But the crazy thing is, as far as I know, ain't nobody ever wanted to fight Sareah. It's the effect that you got. Like, it is, you don't bring that energy around. You make everybody around you feel good. You make, no matter what you're going through. Because we would have never known you went through anything. I'm like, this nigga is always cool.
I try to always keep a positive energy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's even like right now. Like, I pray a lot. I sage. I don't want as much negativity that goes on in the world, I really don't want that surrounding like my home. Like before I moved out of Kansas City, I told people, when they came over to my apartment, because they'd be like, "Man, this smells so fucking good in here. Like, what is this? What is that?" And shit. I'm like sage, and sometimes I just burn some Yankee Candle wax or oils or whatever and shit. I just wanted to make people feel at peace every time they walk through my front door. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go feel this way when you come in here, and you go feel this way when you leave and shit. The same energy that I'm giving you when you walk in my house is the same energy I'm going to give you as myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to make you feel good knowing that you spoke to me, even if it was just for 5 minutes and shit. Like, I don't have to know you to just have a conversation with you, to ask you how you're doing. Like, it was this lady that came in Walgreens when I was working there one time off of 38th to Broadway. She had a whole fucking attitude. It was an older white lady and everything. And I know, what her fucking attitude was for and shit. Quite frankly, I kind of didn't care.
Right.
But being who I am, I said, "You all right? How you doing?" She said, "That's the first time somebody has asked me that in a long time." I said, "Well, go ahead and tell me. It's just a little bit. That's all it takes is a little bit."
The little things that people need to change the whole mood and their mindset about a person.
Yeah. It takes, what I'm saying, a split second to speak to people. That's what really fucks me up sometimes. Like, I am friendly. I've been told that and shit. I'm starting to notice it. I try to act like I'm not, but I know I am. Because I can speak to anybody. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? If you're in a grocery store, you're looking at something, I'm coming your way. And I know that the way you're standing, I either got to go in front or behind you. Either way, I'm still going to say, "Excuse me." Right? It's fucking manners, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you do and everything. Like, but some people don't do that.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, I literally stood at a gas station in Orlando, probably like before I came down here last week and shit, and held a door open for like 10, 15 minutes for this old man to walk all the way from the gas pump to all the way inside the store. Like,
didn't look at you.
No. He lifted his head. He said, "Thank you."
Oh.
And he had a hump in his back and everything. So he was bent down the whole time he was coming. He didn't see me till he got to that door. He never knew I was holding it open for him. You know what I mean? Like, just little shit. You know what I'm saying? Just what helps somebody. Just remember that little thing about you and shit. You know what I'm saying? I know he went home and was like, some black kid held the door for me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
For 15 minutes, pal.
Yeah.
Probably didn't know you were there. Or he probably did see you.
Hey.
From where they were like, damn, this motherfucker's still right here on this door.
You never know.
I was all wrong about you blacks.
I know, right? Them niggers, they got some good ones. Nah, but like, it just be.
This is a good way for you to close us out. Leave the people with some words with what you about to say. Like, yeah, I feel like this is a good way for you to close us out.
Okay. Like, we're all gonna go through, you know what I'm saying, things in life where we feel challenged. You know what I'm saying? We feel like we're being tested a lot and everything. Right now I'm being tested. You know what I mean? Like, with it's another situation I'm dealing with, but I'm being tested right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's taken a lot for me not to react how any other person would.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To me, that's growth. And to know that I'm better than what this person is making it seem like I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, because if I react the way I want to and shit, I'd be in jail right now. I wouldn't even be having this conversation with you and shit. Like, cause sometimes we have to take a step back and like really look at these tests and really get an understanding of our situation and our surroundings, because, you know, we're always going to be getting attacked by something, whether it's a disease, some type of enemy or whatever. Like, you know, like you get attacked every day. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And like some people don't even think that the devil is real. Believe me, that nigga real. That nigga turned my phone off and I caught a case that day. He turned it on right before I got arrested. I had a full battery. I went and bought a whole charger. But like with life, you just really have to, you know what I'm saying, continue to pray and stay focused. Keep all negative energy. Try to keep it away from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't walk around life mad all the time. You can't wake up like that. Like, you shouldn't go to sleep like that. That's how I am. Like, I don't want to go to sleep bad. Like, even if, you know, I get into it with my chick or whatever and shit, like, I don't want to go to sleep mad. Because I'm going to wake up like that. And then we going to have another problem. Because I didn't get no good sleep because you pissed me off. You know what I mean? Like, I want to give off a good energy. Like, I want to communicate with people. You know what I mean? I want to talk to you. I want to make sure that you leave a good impression on me and I leave a good impression on you and shit like that. So, like, you just got to be real positive and remember that everybody's human. We all going to make mistakes and shit. Like, you kind of can't change who you are, but you can, you know.
Mm-hmm. You can make adjustments.
Yeah, you can make adjustments. Right. And you can't be stuck in your ways. You know what I mean? You got to have compassion for people. You got to be understanding. You got to listen. And when you listen, you got to hear that person. And when you hear them, you got to listen as well. Like, it works both ways. Because I cannot be having a conversation with you and I'm saying all of these things, but you're not taking in what I'm saying to you. So when I come for understanding, you're not giving it to me because you weren't hearing me when you were supposed to be
just preparing for a rebuttal.
Yeah. And that's what we all do. Because we be ready to attack. Because I know that when you put your arms like this, it's a defense mechanism and shit. I'm ready. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready. Because, for real, because when, you know, I'm not with her now and shit, but when we was together and shit, like, she'll be saying some shit. I'll fold my arms real quick. She not even knowing, like, bitch, I'm waiting. As soon as you shut the fuck up, I'm about to go. Like, because I'm about to let you know how wrong you are and shit. Like, it's a defense mechanism and shit. Like, everybody gets, you know what I'm saying, defensive about something and shit. Because whether you right or wrong, more wrong than right and shit. You know what I mean? Half the time.
And a lot of times, you know, you're not really wrong on how whatever that thing is made you feel. Yeah. So you're not wrong in that sense. It's how you were approaching the situation. Yeah. And maybe you'll realize that whatever that thing that made you feel like that was, is not really what you thought it was. when we sit and try to really speak and understand each other.
Yeah, because, man, I'm being accused of some shit I know I didn't do. Yeah. You ever had a motherfucker record you while you just in your own personal space? Put a recording device in your shit? I'm dealing with that right now. Bruh. Yeah.
Okay. We ain't even going to
we come back to that. You can FaceTime me always in podcasts that, like dead ass. Like, I'll put it all out there. Like, this motherfucker crazy.
Listen, I don't love you, cuz. I don't love you, bro. I don't love you, sis. I love you.
I love you too.
We don't need all that. I don't need all that at the end of it or nothing, because I love you.
No, I love you
We
too.
ain't gotta say, bro. We ain't gotta. You know how we got.
Nah,
you know how dudes is.
Yeah,
you know
we family.
Yeah. I've just said people. Period. Gotta like men.
Yeah.
They.
I love you, bro.
Yeah, I love
like,
you, bro. Yeah, I love you.
They act
You
like
know what I'm
it's
saying?
so hard to show affection to another man.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, I seen that with Michael B. Jordan and Oh Boy and everything, and I'm like, but it should be like that. Without the, you know, they even had a scene off of Queen Sugar when Micah, you know, his friend likes boys, he messes with girls, but he has this intimacy with this man because he's connected with him on a different level, as you know, to where it's understanding there. They get each other or whatever, but it's nothing sexual.
Yeah.
And people get so uncomfortable with that and everything. They just got to think, you know, saying you're gay or, you know, like I have straight women friends. I have more straight women friends than I do have gay women friends. I actually like it like that though. You know what I mean? Because I consider them my niggas. You know what I mean? Like, because you can call a woman real quick, where they at, bitch? You know what I mean? Like, pull up, like, shit like that. But, like, and that's just like, I hang around more dudes than anything and shit. And if I'm ever playing basketball, I'd rather play with men than I'd rather play with women and everything. I feel like I get, you know what I'm saying, more competition from a man than I do from a woman and shit. But I like women. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like, I don't know why they get so uncomfortable. When you're secure within yourself and who you are, you shouldn't let nothing make you feel no type of way. You a whole ass man. We know you ain't about to go eat his ass.
Maybe, but even if that.
Like, but then, you know, you got all these down low brothers and shit. What are you hiding for?
Yeah.
What are you hiding for? Because then when you hide and you don't, you know, be your true self, like, you expose other people to, you know, shit like that. Like, you know, it was years ago with Oh Boy, he was fucking straight dude, and the straight dude was fucking his baby mama, and you know, he ended up, the baby mama found out, so he killed the gay dude. Like, why? You doing this? Be who you are. Yeah. I think, you know, I am who I am. I'm not a pronoun. I am Sareah Trinice Brown. Like, goofy, hella cool, laid back and shit. I don't take no shit. My demeanor says everything. Like, I'm easy to talk to, easy to get along with. Like, I'll make you smile when you want to cry. You know what I mean? Like, I just try to be as honest as I can, and that when I do leave this earth, that if you don't remember nothing else about me, you gonna remember my name.
Don't even go enough. That's a perfect way to close this out. The goal is to leave a lasting imprint on their minds and their hearts. We pray you've been indelibly marked. That was, I didn't even want you to even go no further.